coming. I see a lot of new faces, which that's very, very, very exciting. So we have some good news and I have some bad news. The good news is our new equipment has been installed. We have the new projector screen, the new projector, and a new microphone system with multiple microphones. But guess what? The tech guy has been out sick. So the library staff has no idea how to work it because the company that installed it has special passwords that he gives to the tech guy, and then the tech guy gets it up. So it's here, we just don't get to use it yet. I just want to thank you all for coming to our library. I was explaining to some people how important this library is. This library is owned by the Village of North Palm Beach. We're not part of the municipal system, so we are funded here. There is some budget that comes from the village. You know, they give us a little bit, but mostly we're funded by the Friends. The Friends of the library bought those chairs you're sitting in. We paid for this carpet. We got the new ceiling tiles. We do a lot of things here. And if anybody is interested, you can become a friend. It's like $20 and you get a special little card. You can be a friend of the library and it helps support all these programmings that we do. Like right now next door, a whole class from the conservatory school was just brought over and they're all spending their morning at the library. We fund extracurricular activities for the children, adults. There's so much going on here. You know, crafts. I mean, you go upstairs, there's a whole table. You can just go around the table and just sign up for all sorts of things. There is no excuse for you to say you have nothing to do because there's a ton of stuff upstairs. And a lot of it is funded by what the Friends do. So I just wanted to put that little plug in there and let you know who we are and what we're about. But I don't want to take up too much more time because we have the best speaker ever, you guys. I was like having a panic. Last week, the speaker I had lined up for you canceled on me. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. Like, I am so busy. I cannot do this. We're going to cancel. Like, it's over. We're done. We're canceling. We're not having a thing. And I said, just keep calling her because when I emailed her, she was on vacation. The nerve, right? She was on vacation, but I had to lock somebody in. So when they canceled, I just kept calling her and she said, I can do it, I can do it. And I was like, oh my God. Because when I first met her, she gave a presentation.
You're in the dark.
I know, we have it so you can see the screen. That's why it's out. Because otherwise you can't see the screen. Anyways, I met her at a presentation and I thought, this woman is fantastic. And she just gave like a 5-minute little talk, but I knew there was much more in her. So we get her today for a little over an hour. So we are going to see what she has to say. Her name is Tequesta Alston. She's with Brain Research Matters. And I want to be a guest today because I can't even remember why I walk in a room half the time.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me well? I have an outdoor voice. All right. Again, my name is Tequesta. Yes, I am from Florida. No, they did not name the city after me. They don't even know I exist, okay? But if you call me Jupiter, I'll answer to that too. Because you're really, really close. But at any rate, more than likely, you will remember my name because it's the name of a city, right? I might not remember your name because I've only seen you once, and thank God you're wearing name tags, and that is a beautiful thing because when I go places and I'll say, hey, Bruce, how you been? And they'll be like, oh, you remember me? Well, yeah, you want a name tag. That's the best thing known to man. But, and that keeps our memory sharp, right? So we don't have to feel bad because we don't remember their name. At any rate, she made a comment about, sometimes she wakes up in the morning, she don't even remember what she walked in the room for. We all do that. We all walk in the room and say, hey, what did I come in for? And what do? We walk back out. And 9 times out of 10, we remember it. It's called benign forgetfulness. We all do it, okay? The time that you worry is when you are constantly looking for an item and you're pacing and you're looking and you left the item in the refrigerator. Right, like when you got in the house, you took the groceries out, you knew you had to get the ice cream in the freezer before it melted, you were really busy, you got distracted, the phone rang, something's happened, and you put the keys in the freezer with the ice cream. Guess what? You were distracted. Do you know what distractions do for us? It keeps us from being mindful. We get distracted all the time. At the traffic light, you get distracted. In the grocery store, you get distracted. Walking by the TV, you see something, you get distracted. And then you forget what you were going to do. Remember, when you were much younger, we were able to multitask with the 2 and 3 kids we had. We don't know how we did it. But now that we've become more seasoned, we really can only do one thing at a time. Okay? Just concentrate on successfully completing your task, whatever that is. But that's not what I'm here to talk about today. Today we're going to activate your brain. Okay? I've given you this little handy dandy card. We're not doing a PowerPoint. We're not doing any of that. We're going to be interactive because I need you all to understand that brain health is one of the #1 preventions of any type of cognitive deficit. Okay? And the most common cognitive issues are forms of dementia. Now let me tell you, people age normally every day. My dad's 95, he's an old-retired lawyer, and guess what? He's kicking it, he cooks, he's independent, he just got enough sense and fear of him that he won't drive anymore. Okay? Everything else he still does. He swims every day, so some of us are going to be super agers, if you've ever heard of that. And be okay with it. Your brain will slow down like your body. Your brain is the largest muscle. It'll slow down. You'll start answering questions a little bit slower, thinking a little bit more, but it doesn't mean that anything's wrong with you. There is normal aging, okay? People age normally every day. So don't think just because I walked in the room and didn't remember what I came for, oh Lord, I must have something wrong. It must be the big D, okay? No, okay? But activating your brain, and where I work in research. Without research, we have no medication. For all of us that are on medications, irregardless of what it is, it took someone to sit in that chair to make sure that it was safe and that it worked. We just take it for granted because we go to the pharmacy and just get it and get upset if it's not ready. We go to Publix, get our medicine, and we're done. But it's a little bit more than that, okay? And today, I'm very grateful for those that have taken the opportunity to sit in that chair to make sure that I have what I need, okay? I am a cancer survivor. A cancer survivor, I went through a clinical trial. I went through a clinical trial, got rid of everything. It worked. It worked. It's a miracle. So they do work. So don't think that, a lot of people say, oh, I'm not going to do research and make me a guinea pig. Honey, let me tell you, guinea pig means if it's going to cure diseases. Right. Okay? So that's what we do, but ours is mainly Alzheimer's disease, and you all don't have to worry about that because we're going to activate the brain. And because we know that aging causes all parts of the body to age. Okay? We walk, balance as we age. When you turn about 50, you kind of start feeling like, oh, my balance not right. As we age, things change. So you have to be very careful, all right? And research suggests that there are things that we can do, okay, as we get older to support brain health, body health. A good heart diet is a good brain diet, okay? Remember that. Only thing we want to do is stay healthy so that we can remain independent for as long as possible. Independence is one of the last things that you want taken away from you. Right. So you're going to do whatever you need to do to remain independent, okay? And the first thing that we do, I know, is we're going to stay active. A lot of us are active now. There is a very strong link between physical activity, okay, and brain health. All right? I'm in the gym this morning at 5 o'clock. Yeah, I'll be passed out by 7. But guess what? I go to the gym where the seasoned folks are. The YMCA. I can't handle the LA Fitness because that's where all the young folks are. And they don't exercise like we exercise, right? So we get on the treadmill, we get on the new step, we do a little weightlifting, we do a little training, and then we're out the door. But guess what? Walking does the same thing. Okay? So if you take and do physical exercise, continue. You hear that on TV all the time. Exercise, exercise. And we've come to believe that our super agers were some of those who started in their 60s and start listening to the message of exercise and eating right. And they are our super folks, okay? So we want to make sure, because when you stay active, you sleep better at night, you have more energy during the day, you just overall feel better. You get that boost of energy. And you know, for those of you that do yoga and aerobics and all that, when you get finished with that class, you've got enough energy to go take on the world. That's what you need, okay? And if you don't do it now, take the remote out of your hand, okay, and get some weights and some bottles of water and sit there instead of the remote. You know, bottles of water, they can be used as weights. So when you're walking, you know, do something with that bottle of water, okay? Or anything that you have in your hand. Make sure that you're doing some type of physical exercise, okay? And another thing we talked about is balance. You want to make sure you do that physical exercise. Tai Chi is one of the best exercises, and chair Tai Chi does the same thing for balance, okay? And so does your aerobics help with the balance. If you can stand on one foot for a certain period of time and balance, that means that you're doing very well. Because nobody wants to fall. Fear of falling is my biggest fear of all, okay? And if you ever feel yourself falling, they have fall programs that almost teach you how to fall. You never want to hit your head. You never want to hit your head, okay? You might get a bruise, you might get a bump, but cover your head, okay? If you're in that position. Next, we're gonna eat well. How many of y'all had breakfast this morning? Very good, very good. You need to always start your morning with something to eat, okay? I know we all have our coffee and our tea. That's not eating. You need a little bit more substance. So, foods that are good for you are good for your heart and are good for your overall health. They are your fruits, your veggies, your nuts, your greens, your fish, all of those things. Also, those vegetables are giving you vitamins. A lot of us take supplemental vitamins. We take them because when we go to the doctor and they tell us our blood level's a little off, I mean, vitamin D, I guess I'll take it for the rest of my life because I don't get a lot of sun, as you see. But nevertheless, I try to eat vegetables that contain a lot of vitamin D. And now when you buy things, bless you, when you buy things, look at the label. They'll tell you what's in it. They will tell you what's in it. And once you understand what you're buying, you don't have to look again because it's going to be the same thing. Okay? Now, make sure that if you're vitamin deficient, make sure your doctor instructs you the vitamins you need to take. Don't look at TV. Don't look at all that TV stuff because your vitamin levels could be high and they don't need to be high in certain areas. And also, when you go to your physician, learn how to advocate for yourself. When I say advocate for yourself, be prepared when you go. The doctor works for you, okay? Y'all forgot that, didn't you? You go in there and you be like, well, doc, I know how to read my labs. I was insisting on learning how to read my labs. You go in the doctor, okay, you're good there. Your A1C's good. What's good? Everything, and I take the last appointment of the day. He knows me very well because we're going to go in my labs and I want to say, should I be at the low end of this or should I be at the high? Okay? We always think something high it's bad, but it's not always. And your doctors will never tell you unless you ask. So advocate for yourself. When you go to that doctor next time, be ready. Take your pen and paper because he works for you. Okay?
Why doesn't he kill you unless you ask?
They don't have time.
They're busy. The average doctor has 7 minutes if you're on Advantage plans. Most times they have a high volume of people to see and they average about 7 minutes. You may see somebody else before you see the actual doctor, the PA or whatever, but it's only got about 7 minutes. So I'm at the point now where I'm on Medicare, but I still work, so I don't have to use it. But still, they're not going to offer it up. Just like every time you go to your doctor, your annual. How many of you get memory screenings once a year from your doctor?
Yeah,
Kudos to your doctor, because every physician should be doing it and should not cost you a dime. And it's not asking you 3 questions. I'm gonna ask you, who's the president? Nobody asks that anymore, okay? There are substances of type of tests that we give all the time that really focus on each part of the brain, and it gives us the information to tell us whether you're good. You're at your baseline score. You're doing very good for your age. Continue to do it. Whatever you're doing, continue to do it. You know, we are good in the brain, but the doctors, they're busy. Unless you stop him, he won't ask. Okay? I mean, sometimes, you know, you get a
that
double
makes me hostile.
It does. It makes you upset because actually he should be working for you. Now, not all doctors are like that. Don't get me wrong. Not all physicians are like this. Some physicians will do them. These young ladies that raised their hand, those physicians had time, or their assistants had time to do it. But you should still get it done. And next time you go to your doctor, ask him, do you give memory screenings? And he may say no, but I can send you to somebody that does. If he says it does and it's convenient for you, go. It should always be free, no matter where you go. All right? So we're staying active. We're eating well. Now, how many of us sleep well? Whoa. I sleep like a rock. My husband's next to me. I can feel his eyes on me all the time watching me sleep. And I'll be like, what's wrong?
I get so jealous because you can just go right to sleep.
I'm like, yeah, you get up at 5, you can too. Okay, but sleep is so important. And you know, without that sleep, you know what you feel the next morning? Foggy. I'm tired. I woke up tired. Well, you know what? You didn't get that good sleep, that good REM sleep. Some people say, oh, I only need 3 hours. I'm gonna tell you something. I need 8. I make sure I get at least 8 hours of sleep. It's important. And people say, the myth is, oh, as you get older, you don't need that much sleep. Well, that's your myth. I don't get a chance to nap during the day, so I need my 8 hours. But if you get the opportunity, if your sleep patterns are bad, then you get a chance to nap. Napping is good. Just don't do it behind the car. Okay? Napping is good for you. Don't get that wrong. Okay? But sleeping is even more important. For those of you that don't sleep well and have never slept well all your life, well, have you ever spoke to your physician about it? You don't need a pill to sleep. You need them to find out why you're not sleeping. I know all y'all not up with cell phones at night, stimulating your brain. I don't. I cut mine off. But you gotta sleep, and a good night's sleep makes you feel so energetic the next morning. And you know, all those things we like to do, like multitask, do different things, they kind of go out the window when you don't get enough sleep. That's right. Now, some of us have sleep apnea, which is a very common nuance, I call it, because my husband sleeps with a CPAP machine. It's not very attractive. Told him, thank God he's 67 and we've been married a very long time. But he wakes up and he says, oh my God, I feel so much better. And it is amazing. And if you think, I have a guy in my support group, young man, he has dementia related to sleep apnea. Going undiagnosed for many years. They thought he had Alzheimer's. He came to my doctor, he said, you don't have Alzheimer's. You got a form of dementia, but you don't have Alzheimer's. Dementia is all kinds of forms of dementia. But he still has memory deficits. He can drive, he can get around, he can cook, but he still has memory deficits. And it was from, finally we found out, the lack of sleep. And every few seconds that your brain does not get that oxygen, you add it up every night. You add it up and see, does it not accumulate to the point where you start messing with your mind. You start having memory loss. You start having cognitive issues. So if you're concerned and you're not getting enough sleep, check with your doctor. Sleep studies are easy. You do them at home now. They sit at home with you, you do it at home, they can tell. Some people go to a pulmonologist, they get it done. You know, if you're concerned and you want some more quality years where you can sleep, talk to your doctor. That may be your problem, I don't know. Exercise your brain. Everybody does this one, right? How many people we know got crossword puzzles? We do this, we do that, right?
Casino.
That's the just say no, right?
Casino.
Casino, the game of going. I got you. We won't tell anybody. There's all types of games. All types. Once you have mastered it, most times we like games, and when we complete them and we're successful, we like that game because we've completed it. But if you do the same thing over and over and over again, you're gonna get the same results. Your challenge is gone. You need to challenge yourself. If you're used to doing the New York Times every morning and you master it, go find something else to do, because that's not doing you any good anymore. You've mastered it. Okay, go get a new hobby. Go learn a new language. Do something you've always wanted to do or didn't want to do. And most things that we'll say, I never liked Sudoku. You know why? Because I didn't know how to play. I didn't know how to play. And I love math. Never could. And then finally I found somebody that said, I'll teach you. Okay. I still didn't get it. Then I found somebody else who interpreted it a little bit differently, and I got it. But all of my learning processes, I was challenging my brain. All those neurons in my brain, they're firing. You have them too. You got brain cells, trust me. You may not have as many as you had when you were a kid, but you definitely got brain cells or you wouldn't be here, okay? So you gotta challenge yourself. I do brain games all the time, and I never come before my audience with a crossword puzzle. No, you can do that at home. I do brain games that challenge your brain, make you think, okay? And then once you've thought it, you'll be like, oh, that's a challenge. So only thing I'm saying is when you exercise your brain, you want to make sure you stimulate your brain. Yes, continue to do puzzles, learn new things, take up a new hobby, volunteering. Volunteer of the year. There she is, right there. Another volunteer of the year. There, okay? How many of us volunteer our time? Okay, if you don't, find something to do, please. Come to the library and read for the kids. Find something to do. Because, I'm sure all of you are busy. Because you're playing pickleball, and you're doing this, you're doing that. You got dance classes you got to go to, got aerobics. You're busy. But find something else you can do if you're not busy. All right, now that we've exercised our brain, we want to stay connected with your friends and your family. Everybody remembers COVID, right?
Yeah.
I still have some of my folks that are still in heightened fear. They're depressed. I'm trying to get them out of the house. They just still, that 2 years messed up a lot of my seniors, period. And I'm trying to unravel them. So now you're back connecting with your friends and your family and your neighbors. How fortunate was that? I don't know where COVID came from. I don't know what it's supposed to make us do or whatever, or what the revelation was supposed to be, but it darn sure worked. It was enough. But you gotta stay connected, and it shows that when you're connected with people, whether it be here, through your churches, through your community, that keeps you from getting depressed, keeps you from isolating, it just regenerizes your life. And that's what you need. That's what you need. And to be honest with you, we find that people that have a higher education, they have what we call a better reserve. Okay? When I say reserve, a better brain reserve, memory reserve. A lot of our long-term memory, we know. Some of it we don't want to know. But a lot of it, we remember when we were kids, significant events, things of that nature. But, a lot of it, you don't. So we want to make sure that we stay connected. And those people that have the higher education level, that have a better reserve, it still doesn't mean that you can't have cognitive deficits, okay? I find that when I go in the community and do testing, if someone truly fails to test, but I know they don't really have memory issues, my next question to them is, what's your highest level of education? I did a young lady, she said 7th grade. I can tell. She couldn't do the math. She couldn't spell the words. And it wasn't because, she had cognitive deficits. She didn't have no education, or not enough education. And we're fortunate, and some people were not. But that also is things that I have to look at when I'm doing screenings, because everybody's not the same. All right? How many of us know how to relax? I do. Oh yeah. Do the first one. How do you relax?
Me?
Both of you.
I listen to a book.
Book? Okay. I like audiobooks too.
Yeah.
I'm on the road a lot.
Yeah.
What about you?
I like to swim in the pool. That's my relaxing.
You know what? Swimmers have the best brains. Keep it up. Keep it up. My neurologist I work for, he says swimmers have the best brains. Okay, so if you're swimming every day, keep it up. Or every other day, keep it up. How about other people relaxing? So we know how to relax, right? It could be anything that you enjoy. The beach, the pool, reading a nice book, listening to an audiobook. Please learn how to relax. At my age, stress is stress. I don't even know what stress is. It's just everyday life for me.
That's right.
You just put one day at a time, and you do the right thing in your day, and hopefully you do the best thing in your day, and you do something good for one another, and then at the end of the night you say, okay, thank you. Let's try this dog and show again. There's always tomorrow, we hope. Okay? So make sure you learn how to relax. Relaxation. How many of us take yoga? I'm taking my hand down. I used to take hot yoga, but it got too hot. How many of us do Tai Chi? Kind of, sort of?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tai Chi's good. Get that leg up. You got to balance. You got to balance. You got to concentrate. You got to balance. You got to balance. And then you relax. So Tai Chi is excellent. As a matter of fact, I'm an old Tai Chi instructor, but I don't teach anymore. All right, so everybody knows about inflammation, right? We feel it sometimes, don't you? When your body aches, what do you think that is? Something's inflamed. Something is inflamed. And a lot of times we can work through it. By exercise, by swimming, by relaxing, we can work through it. If you can work through it, do that. Try to stay away from medications as much as you can. Because it's just not good for you unless it's something you gotta have. Like some of us take statins, right? I don't have any more cholesterol issues, but I still take my statin. And the NIH, National Institute of Health, as well as my physician, he says if you can tolerate it, everybody can't tolerate statins. He said if you can tolerate it, stay on it. It will do you more good on than off. Okay? Not only does it help the issues with cholesterol, it also is effective with your heart. So if you can, stay on it. There's some things I've eliminated. High blood pressure medicine. I'm going to always be hypertensive, although my blood pressure has been under control for years. I'm going to always be hypertensive. Once you get that diagnosis, you can't take it off you. Those people that are diabetic, you got your stuff under control with diet, you no longer need this or that, you're always going to have it because you're at risk for it returning. Okay? But if you maintain what you're doing, take your medications, eat well, sleep well, exercise your brain, stay social, you shouldn't have any stress. Okay? Now, I can't help you for those of you that have husbands and wives that stress you out. But for the most part, I got a honey-do list. And if you all ladies, if you keep your honey-do list up to par, he's always busy. He's on number 3 on the honey. You got 4 more to go. Okay? So my husband's in New York right now, so I told him, I said, I'll just put that on your honey-do list. He said, I get a list when I'm not home. I said, yep, you get a list because you're coming back. All right, we're going to control our risk factors that we just brought into play. Some of us are hypertensive. Some of us have diabetes. Some of us have cholesterol issues. Let me tell you, uncontrolled cholesterol, uncontrolled diabetes, uncontrolled hypertension are the 3 biggest risk factors for what? Stroke and dementia. Yeah. I didn't say that you had them, you were gonna get it. If it's under control, you're good. When you're not taking your medications, you're not watching what you eat, you're not taking your blood sugars, that puts you at risk. So make sure you just control your risk factors. Simple. They're easy to control because you're gonna stay active, you're gonna eat well, and you're gonna exercise your brain, right, Bruce? And Nancy's gonna sleep well. And Clifford, he's already connected with friends and family, right? Yes. So we're gonna do all those things, and then we're gonna make sure our risk factors are under control. Are we now? Yes. Yeah? Okay. Because I tell you, you don't want that to get out of control. And then you're gonna talk to your doctor about it. When you go back to your doctor, ask him a question that he would not think you would ask him. Just think of one about your health. And wake him up and say, he'll say, where did that come from? Well, I'm advocating for myself, Doc. I have a question. Now, last thing, y'all have it on your card, is on the back, get involved. Get involved. Get involved. Get involved in research of any kind. I just talked to a gentleman the other day. He just got a heart condition. He's involved in a clinical trial with his cardiologist. I'm gonna tell you something, y'all. Everybody has clinical trials for every disease, okay? And some of them are 50-50. When I say that, you're gonna always get placebo or the drug, but some of them are the actual drug. So you can always ask whoever you go to, am I getting the actual drug or am I? Because now the 2 FDA approved medications and the third one's coming out, just got approved, for Alzheimer's disease, it works. We had those folks in our clinical trial for 8 years. They're still with us. So that tells me they were getting a drug, okay? So you know this disease lies dormant almost 15, 20 years before you get a symptom, but it's amazing. Research takes so long to come up with one little stinky drug, and then when you look on TV and you hear advertised, what do you hear? Oh, it may cause death. It may cause this. It may cause that. And you're like, dang, why should I take this? You know, it scares the living daylights out of you, whether or not I should be taking it. But there's risk and benefits to everything we do, everything we take. Every time we get in that car, we're taking a risk. But the benefit is the transportation will get us where we're supposed to go, we hope. The risk is another knucklehead that's not looking where they're going, okay? Simply, it's a risk and a benefit for almost everything we do. So you and your physician have to outweigh which is better. And I tell you, you see nothing but commercials on TV about drugs. I could sing to you the song about the one, you go to the kitchen, you be singing all the songs about the shot, the diabetes, what is it called, Java? Yeah. And you be like, okay, here comes another one. I even remember the Pepto-Bismol one. Y'all remember that one? The people in pink. I mean, the things that stick in our brains are just so amazing. But the thing is, those commercials come on so much until, keep in mind, when we were in school, the more you hear something, the more likely you are to remember it. And you hear it over and over and over again. Next thing you know, you're in the shower singing the Pepto-Bismol song. You know, it's just crazy. It's all in the brain. So with that being said, we need to make sure that if we follow the golden rules, which you have been following, then you will become a super ager. And sometimes super agents don't want to be, because I have one that's 95 and he's like, oh God, I'm tired of doing taxes. Oh, I'm tired of paying taxes. I was like, don't they have a rule when you get a certain age you don't have to pay taxes anymore? That needs to be a rule, because you would have paid your dues, right? Don't you think so? Yeah. They don't have a rule where I can get all my Social Security that I put in one lump sum. I can invest my money and make better money. No, you'll never get it. Can you imagine all the years you worked? Since I was 14, I paid into Social Security. I shouldn't have no retirement issues if they gave me all my money, right? We'd be broke. Nobody would get it. So, we got any veterans in here? Yay. Thank you very much for all you do. Always recognize my boys. Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? I guess I've given you everything you need. What I've got for you today is I'm sorry.
I just want to know how I personally can find out where the research is.
where research is?
Yeah, how do I get started?
Oh, you can call me right there. And you know what? I've got some bags over here. In these bags, everybody will get one. It's information about where I am, who I am, what we do, and other fun stuff. Even gave you some healthy treats. They're pretend today that they're healthy. And gave you a brain. A brain. So when you think you're losing it, get your brain. Squeeze it. I use it for my arthritis. You know, we all get it at a certain age. But yeah, so all that information's in there on this card. If you are interested in getting a free memory screening, I can sign you up. We can give you a call, set an appointment. I have an office in Delray Beach, which is a little hump for you. And I got an office in Stewart, which is a bigger hump for you. Not so much. I think Stewart's even closer. But either way, if you don't come to me, go somewhere. Okay, just go somewhere. We don't have all the brains in South Florida, but to be honest with you, it's a stock pond in Palm Beach County. Y'all know what a stock pond is? Stock pond of seasoned seniors. Okay? Because for us, our research starts at age 50, because that's when the body starts to change. The brain starts to change. So with that being said, I'll get you that information right away. Any other questions? Okay, yes ma'am.
Is it true that your brain shrinks as you get older?
It does. A little bit at a time. Everything shrinks. Have you looked in the mirror? Some of us shrink. Some of us shrink, right? Well, yeah, it's just a part of the process of aging. Now, when you start to have, you know, when there's really some memory loss there and the brain starts atrophy, that's a little bit different. Okay? A little bit different. Yes, ma'am.
What is the name, just out of curiosity, the new drug, that new dementia drug? Or
The Lecanemab,
What
you
is
got
that?
Lecanemab and Alzheimer. Now ask me how to spell it backwards. And you know what? Spelling things backwards really challenges the brain. Do numbers backwards, learn your ABCs backwards. Because we learned everything going forward, didn't we? ABC 1, 2, 3. They didn't teach us to go backwards. If you try them backwards, boy, those things will start firing on you like never tomorrow. Yes, ma'am.
Could you just spell those?
I sure will. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull out my phone because I want to spell it correctly. I'm not the best speller in the world. I spell phonetically, but pharmaceutical companies don't. They come up with drugs, you be like, huh? And then they give you the pharmaceutical one, and then they give you the generic one. And generic one is even worse. Even worse. Let's see. What do we got? Well, you know what? You know Dr. Google? Does anybody know Dr. Google?
Yeah.
Everybody knows Dr. Google, right? If you said no, that means you don't use your smart devices. Okay? And when I go to the doctor, you know what I tell him? I said, well, Dr. Google said that I should be. He said, you don't know Dr. Google. I said, I come to you to validate. Because mostly everything I'm going to look up. Alzheimer's drug medication.
But there's a difference between Alzheimer's and dementia, right? Or does it work for both?
Dementia is an umbrella term. Alzheimer's is a form of dementia. There are many forms of dementia. You can have Parkinson's dementia. You can have Alzheimer's dementia. You can have Lewy bodies dementia. Dementia is the umbrella term, meaning that this has affected you having the ability to conduct your activities of daily living. Okay? So, treatment, FDA approved. Come on.
I think there's like 47 different types
Oh, yes.
of dementia. 47 or 48.
Isn't that something? I mean, and a lot of you have heard of MCI. Who knows what MCI is? Come on, y'all.
So where people are like allergic to everything almost?
That's good. That was the new one. No, MCI is called mild cognitive impairment. Mild cognitive impairment. People with MCI can live with MCI all their life. They're able to function. They're able to do everything. You know, they just might not be able to do it as quickly as you, but they're able to do it. Okay? But they can stay MCI until something happens that alters that alters their body. For instance, if they get pneumonia, they get a bad case of pneumonia. If they have surgery, they get that anesthesia. That could trigger it, and then they can come out of the mild cognitive stage and go into the Alzheimer's. Okay? So, yep. All right. Let me get back to Google.
Hang on, I got it.
You got it? One of them is Adalimumab and lecanemab. New Alzheimer's drugs. New Alzheimer's drugs. Ooh, Lord, look at the name of them. Jesus Christ. Okay, Leqembi is going to be the name at the drugstore, but for research, it was called lecanemab. Lecanemab. Okay?
That's one of the newest.
That's one of the newest approved.
And
Okay.
you feel like it's working? Or
Yeah.
Are you doing
But
research where you all are?
we did it. The research has closed on that particular one. And what they do now is, now that they found, FDA has approved at least 3 drugs, then what they're doing now is they're taking, compounds of all these drugs that have been working, and now they're trying to get them to work even better. Because right now, Leqembi has like a 28% clearance. When I say clearance, all these drugs are given by IV infusion. They get to go over the blood-brain barrier. Okay, you're talking about the brain now. And the goal is to go in there and it melts the amyloid and tau. Okay, so it can clear it out some so that these neurons can communicate better. Okay, the next drug clears about 40-something%, and this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to continuously improve the drug so it can clear more. I mean, there's so many drugs they're using. What's the drug that's used, metformin, for diabetes, right? There's compounds of that drug in one of our clinical trials because they're saying that the compounds of metformin help memory. Okay, so they're grabbing for everything. Now, Eli Lilly also did donanemab, which is the second treatment. That is DONANEMAB. Okay, that's by Eli Lilly. All right, donanemab. And to be honest with you, all the drugs are very costly. Now that they've been approved by the FDA, CMS has to cover them. CMS is Medicare. Okay? Medicare covers the drug. The drug was cost out at $59,000 a year. Is now down to $26,000. And it's unbelievable. Although we have insurance and we go to the pharmacy to get drugs, sometimes we really don't know how much they cost. They're very expensive. Unbelievably so. But these drugs can be given by prescription, normally from a neurologist. If you have issues of that type, I would suggest you see a neurologist that specializes in memory disorders, okay? Then they go through a whole diagnostic series. When you deal with research, you pay for nothing. You come in, they do a whole workup, they get the CAT scan, the MRI, they get all the scans at no cost. But because the cost is paid for by the pharmaceutical company. Big pockets, why not? So what they're doing is they're saying, listen, we're thanking these people for doing what they do. In order for us to do it successfully, we gotta make sure everything's done right and it's covered. And you better believe they're in my building all the time, making sure we're crossing our T's and dotting our I's, and they say we are one of the best. Because my doctor is very, they're called principal investigators. He's all over everything. So we have 2 neurologists, we have 2 MDs that specialize in memory, and we have 2 PAs, and of course the whole staff. So when you come to us, we do everything there. You go no place else, except for imaging. Most people go to Reyes. If everybody remember Reyes used to be, what did Reyes used to be? They were named before Reyes, but they're now the biggest imaging company in Palm Beach County where you get all your imaging done. But for the most part, we gotta do it. We gotta do it. And people get prescriptions, they go. I know young people, early diagnosed people. When I say young, he was maybe 59. He's in my support group, and he's getting the infusions. Because, I mean, you know, it's just when you get this diagnosis, what you're gonna try to do is try to maintain as long as you can, as long as you can, as long as you can, as long as you, and there's other things other than medication that help you maintain. But all those things we talked about, when people get diagnosed, we feed them with this information. I mean, you cannot believe it. It's just so much stuff that's going on. So stay tuned.
My mother had Alzheimer's, and there were obvious triggers that we saw when we finally took her in to be tested. And yes, she was tested with Alzheimer's in the beginning, and it progressively got worse. So fast forward to me, who's probably a good candidate for it. At what point do you go and get yourself tested?
Now, anytime you're over the age of 50, you start getting your tests done. Now, we had a preclinical trial for individuals that had concerns because they had a first-degree relative, mother or father, who succumbed from the disease. And so they were worried whether or not they were going to get the disease. And yes, there is a genetic predisposition, the APO4 gene. But it's just like the BRCA gene. It doesn't mean you're going to get the disease. It gives you the opportunity to start making choices about your diagnosis. That clinical trial closed, but we have another what we call preclinical, meaning you're not having symptoms, but you have a concern. So you come into our office, we do a mini middle screening on everybody. We do a baseline screening on everybody, and I think it's a blood draw that they do for that particular clinical trial. They draw your blood, then they send it off, and then it comes back, and then the doctor consults with you saying you're negative or you're positive. But you know, either way, you get consultation and you get follow-up. You just don't get dropped. You know, even if you're fine, we still follow those people to make sure, because if that trial opens up again, they're coming back. They want the same group of people that did it the first time. Okay, to do maybe another blood test. They're looking for certain enzymes. They're looking for certain things that your medical doctor wouldn't be looking for in the blood workup. So, yeah, do it now. Do it. My mother succumbed from this disease. I had my screening done. I had all my sisters go in and do the pre-screen. I had to do mine somewhere else. My doctor wouldn't let me do it there because I worked there. So I went to another center that I knew had the trial. And it was just a blood draw. And all of us got our test scores back, and remarkably it was negative. But, you know, that's just one part. It still doesn't mean you can't get the disease. It's just saying we didn't have the genetic profile. And most of the time, your genetic profiles are passed by mama, although most of us look like daddy. Yes, ma'am.
How are you funded?
We're funded by pharma. Yeah. We're funded by pharma, the pharmaceutical companies.
Mm-hmm.
We have Eli
Everybody
Lilly, Johnson & Johnson. We have Wachovia. Oh my God, we have about 10 different pharmaceutical companies. And they come to us. And we talk across the table about the trial, whether it's something that we can do, whether we can be successful at it, what's the population we're looking at, what are the exclusions. To be honest with you, if you ever go into a clinical trial, if you have had a history of cancer, past 5 years clear, you're good. But if you're within the 5-year window, you're going to be excluded because of that. And you know, pharma looks out. They don't want to interfere with anything that's going on in your life. We kind of want healthy people. Yes, ma'am.
What's the name of your center?
Brain Matters Research,
Okay.
where your brain matters. That's my commercial. Yes, ma'am.
Could you give us a few names of memory games?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna give you my link. Okay, don't tell anybody. Go to Dana, DANA, .org/puzzles. Dana is out of Miami, Florida. She is a neuropsychologist, and a lot of titles behind her name. She develops these type of things for elementary schools. She does them for high schools and for my seasoned seniors. Yes?
You know, they talk about amyloid plaque. Is there a way to get rid of it naturally, or is there?
I'm not a doctor. If I brought my doctor, he'd give you all the scientific stuff. But he always talks about the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's good. There's some good, but it washes out. There's some bad that doesn't wash out. Okay? You got tau and you got amyloid. Those are the two culprits. But some people can have tau and not have the disease. Okay? It's really weird because we have people come to us all the time and they're full of tau, but no memory issues. We can't say they've got the disease. Okay? But they come and participate in clinical trials. Strange. It's an amazing. If you ever want to look up anything about it, I would say the National Institute of Health, NIH, is one of your greatest resources for looking up any disease.
What about YouTube?
Well, if you can tube it if you get it off the NIH.
Oh, right. What about WebMD?
WebMD is good. I like WebMD. I like it. NIH is a little more user-friendly for me because I just put in the disease and then it gives me all the articles and it gives me everything that I need. It's cut, easy reading when you don't have the audio to talk to me. They haven't given me an audio book for that yet. Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned groups. What kind of groups do you have?
I do support groups. I do support groups. I have what's called an early stage caregiver support group. It's one of the only support groups that's developed for people that have been diagnosed with MCI or early Alzheimer's. Okay, because they usually don't have groups for that. They usually have all the groups for the caregivers. And the caregivers come as well. So I have the persons with the disease, and I have a co-facilitator, Dr. Bone. She takes the caregivers. We're all together, then we split up. Then my group, you should hear, they talk about their wives like you never know. They talk about things like, well, she thinks I can't drive. But you know what? It gives them the opportunity to talk to others because everybody else has got the same problem. She won't let me work on my tools. I've been working with tools all my life. She's afraid I'm going to hurt myself. Okay. These conversations that people still can have, and that's how they feel. So we talk about feelings, and I'm always there saying, how you feel about that? I hate it. Okay. Then somebody else chimes in and they may say, but you know what? I understand why, because they don't want us to hurt ourselves. And they've just become like this because, we need them so much. So, and it's kind of nice because they kind of run the group. And then I tell them, what we say in this room stays in this room. If you choose to tell your wife what you said, that's up to you, but you probably won't remember it. They always tell me, what'd you do? I forgot. Oh, no, you didn't forget, but then they come in the room and they start spilling their guts. So I have several groups. I have caregiver support groups. I have caregiver with the person with the disease. I'm all over the place. I talk to seniors. I preferably talk to seniors. My background is a master level social worker, and I've been in geriatric care since I graduated from college and bridged on, got my master's in social work and continued that journey. And one thing I remember telling my mom, because I've been working in nursing homes with Alzheimer's, I just been in healthcare, and I told her, I said, I'm gonna hang in here until we find a medication, no cure yet, until we find something to treat this horrific disease. And my mom was a happy dementia. She was a fun dementia. She loved to dance, sing, clap. She was never one that was agitated or anything, which was a blessing. Yeah. But nobody wants to see their loved one just waste away. That's just such a hard thing, So I'm still here. I was sharing with Nancy that I'll be 66 in November, and I'm retiring next year.
I'm so glad to have you.
My pleasure. Anything else? It was a pleasure being here, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so I realized I failed to introduce myself in the beginning. Most of you know me. I am Shawn Woods. I'm a certified senior housing professional. Why do I do this? I do this because I had awful experiences in my family where we had dementia, we had probate, we had all these things, and all of a sudden I was the oldest adult female, a lot of you are, and we get to take care of everything. So I, by the seat of my pants, had to figure all this stuff out. And when it came down to it, to sell the properties, the realtor involved, they just treated me like a transaction. I'd just gone through hell and back, and now they're like, okay, yeah, let me know when it's ready. That's it, you know. And so that's why I got my license, and that's why I started doing probate. And when I realized that y'all still aren't getting your act together, I said I better go and get more education so I can help people get it together and figure out what needs to be done before we can't do anything anymore. So that's why I'm here. That's why I put on these seminars. That's why I'm your resource and your hub, because I want to find people who are trustworthy for you so that you can get the things done that you want. It's my goal that you can age on your own terms. I'm here to empower you to do that. That's what we're about. Couple more announcements. So on the education table, there are some things for you to take. There are also some stuff, maybe you didn't come when the clerk of the court was here, about putting the property fraud alerts on your property. There are still some brochures for that. I have some binders if you want to keep all your note pages in a binder. There's binder and a hole punch. Our next seminar is going to be probate and how to avoid it, and that's coming on the 10th. All of our dates are kind of jiggy-jaggy because the library has other programs. How dare they? And then your ticket out the door is this evaluation form. It's the last sheet on your packet. And it really helps me get better, and it helps me understand what you want, need. Okay? And that is all. Thank you. Thank you, Sean. You're welcome.